Good afternoon and welcome to another amazing episode of Peace Zone with Peace Ambassadors. And as I always ask you, how are you doing today? I want to believe that you are becoming peaceful with yourself, others, and the environment. Hope you are ensuring justice, security, and development in your spaces. I'm Moses Abolade, your peace building facilitator and host. And just like I always say, I've been saying recently, we need to, for us to remain consistent and impactful, Peace Zone seek for partners like you to sponsor or advertise your goods and services on this platform. And when you do that, we are sure that you can reach out to any of those contacts showing on your screen and reach out to us, and we'll be glad you do that. So today we have been looking at we'll be looking at Zamfara state. Over time, we have been looking at different states, looking at the conflict situation of those states. We have looked at Southern Kaduna. We have also looked at Adamawa, Taraba, Plateau. And the entire essence of this is for us to have a clear picture of what is actually going on in the states, and for us to provide solution to policymakers and also people who might be interested in intervening in this kind of conflict situation to help us reduce the impact on children, women, and other people. So here with me today is Mr. Ibrahim Tudu, a peace ambassador and the chairman of Zamfara State Coalition of NGOs. Mr. Ibrahim is also the Secretary General of Global Network for Islamic Justice, GLONIJ, a faith-based NGO working on human rights, justice, and good governance. Mr. Ibrahim has a certificate of conflict management from the United States Institute of Peace and is currently pursuing a postgraduate diploma PhD in development communication in Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. He is a humanitarian whose commitment to betterment of humanity is well honored and awarded. You're welcome, Mr. Ibrahim. Ambassador Ibrahim, let me put it that way.
Okay, thank you so much.
Good to have you here.
Thank you very much.
And I want to believe you are in Zamfara State right now. You said you are in Guzau, right?
Yes, Guzau, Zamfara State. How
is Guzau right now?
Well, it's fine, but only that it's very hot today.
Oh, okay. I want to believe that that's just by temperature and that's not by conflict.
Right? Yeah. The temperature is hot.
So how is the conflict situation generally as we speak right now in Zamfara State?
Thank you very much for having me on your platform today. Okay. And good afternoon to all our viewers and listeners. Okay. And I'm very happy to participate in this aspect of issues of security, peace, and other things related to it. I think the issue of conflict in Zamfara State is multidimensional. We can view it from different perspectives, and the dynamics are also changing, and so many things that has to do with conflicts. So generally, I will say that the issue is just the problem of lack of management of a simple situation. Lack of management of conflict, conflict management, conflict analysis, and conflict resolution. Because that is the total sum of what happened in Zamfara and some of our northern states. As you know, so many people attributed this conflict to farmers, herders conflict, or Hausa Fulani conflict. So, and we know that we are together, the farmers, the Hausas, the Fulanis, the herders are all together. They have been living together harmoniously, and they have been having so many interactions, peaceful coexistence and intermarriages and a lot of ceremonies and economic activities together. The history of Zamfara, Sokoto, Kebbi, and other states cannot be written without this group of people. Hausa, Fulani, herders, farmers. Since before the independence, they are together. They have been living together throughout the 90s. And even though there are small skirmishes of, conflicts, but they are resolved at community levels. They are resolved before they blow out to be a very big issue. Some of these conflicts between the farmers, I will explain how the conflict enters. But the issue is usually resolved at community level with the leaders of the community, that is the village heads.
Okay.
Sometimes the area courts, when they are taking it to the courts, we have area courts and magistrate courts. And sometimes the emirs will come in, and sometimes the police end the matter. So many areas that you find redress mechanisms through these people, but later on there are issues.
Okay.
Even these areas that are resolving the conflicts, were suspected of playing so many roles in the conflict.
Okay, Ambassador, before we go further, I would just want us to also, I really appreciate the fact that you have even delved into some major things I would have even hashed, which is very fine. But there has been discrepancies around these words, which have to do with issues of conflict and issue of criminality. Like in June 2023, a report by News Agency of Nigeria, NAN, revealed bandits' attack on Zakida Magaji and Jambako community in Marunda local government area of the state. Clearly, the disturbance of peace and stability can be well established, but beyond that, some people will say that is more of criminality rather than a conflict between people in their homes, or people going to farm and they being killed or being injured. How do we match this together in relation to the background you are giving us around the conflict situation of Zamfara state right now?
Okay, thank you very much. That's the foundation I'm trying to make. The
Very
background to that very issue. Because when the two parties are hardened, they were hardened because they could not get justice when they are looking for it. They harden and start attacking each other. They were having conflicts of grazing reserves. Those grazing reserves that were allocated to houses to farm. You know of the history of these grazing reserves. They are routes for the Fulani herdsmen to traverse all the areas from Sokoto to Kebbi to Kano, Maiduguri, Adamawa, Bauchi. They have a route just like our express roads. Okay. They follow with their herds to move around. They have funds where they get water. They sleep some areas. They spend time in some areas. You know, so many things like that. But those areas were later encroached, and they don't have it now. Before now, we have about 415 grazing reserves.
Okay.
About 140 are gazetted by the government, but even those that are gazetted are now occupied by the houses, all the farmers. They have blocked the chances of these herders to move around. So they have to trespass in their farmlands. So that's why I'm bringing this, so that we know that they are jumping into the farmers' farmlands, and they are claiming that they are their roots because they have been established to be passing through that area. So now the farmers, actually, when they are fighting the Fulani, sometimes the government will be on the side of the houses of the farmers. They will use the police and security agents against them. Okay. And they also develop this NSAK, that is the vigilante, against them. So the Fulani are thinking that, okay, there is a gang up for us, against us. The government is against us. The police are coming after us. Any conflict, the NSAK, that's the vigilante, will come and attack us. So they decided to meet.
Okay.
And find a way out. What is the way out? According to them, what they did was actually what I'm going to tell you now.
Okay.
There was a meeting through Allah, their organization.
The organization in charge of.
Yes,
okay.
And they are saying now they have to possess arms to protect themselves.
Okay.
How do they do that? They don't have guns. They only have sticks. They are moving out with their sticks.
Okay.
And their cows. So that group, whatever the name is called, okay, either an offshoot of Met Allah or Met Allah themselves or another hidden underground group,
okay,
ask them to mobilize, to give money for them to buy arms. If they don't have money, let them give one cow at least to be sold so that they get money to defend themselves. Or if they don't have cow, if they don't have money, at least they have youth among them in their family. They should mobilize one or two of the youths to mobilize and help in the fight of the NSAK, of the government, so that they can checkmate them. So you can see we have two warring factions.
Which is the farmer and the herder, right?
Yes, the Fulani trying to protect themselves. While on this side there is government and the NSAK and the police trying to punish them.
Okay, I really like the trajectory you're towing on this conversation, and I would love us to just go on a short break, and when we come back, we will actually continue to identify what crisis, what the crisis impact we have over these years, and what has been the impact on children, on different people of different population. Just stay on the line, and when we're back, we'll continue the conversation.
All right. Thank you.
Welcome back to a wonderful episode on P-Zone, where we discuss conflict situation as it happens, and we analyze them. We also look at best ways to manage this conflict so that we can have a peaceful society. And we have been on with Ambassador Ibrahim Tudu, who is also the chairman of the coalition of CSOs or NGOs in Zamfara State. Good to have you, Ambassador.
Thank you so much.
So let's continue with the conversation. And I was saying that I love the fact that you have dissected how the conflicts emerge in most cases, how some factions perceive they are being treated unfairly, while we know that other people too, other stakeholders also feel similar way. But can we go further to look at the impact of this crisis on different people, knowing that there might be justification for their actions? However, we know that there are limits to how people can actually go about these things to affect the other persons negatively. But let's look at how has been this impact on the people, on the agricultural sector, and on different sectors generally in Zamfara State.
Yes, you see, this violence and the conflict has actually has devastating effect on the economy and the peaceful coexistence of people of Zamfara State. And the impact is so catastrophic that the situation now in Zamfara is very pathetic, because economic activities have been affected. I don't want to touch about the economic activities. The loss of human life, you know, is one of the greatest things that we felt. Both sides, the herdsmen and the farmers, both sides lost a lot of human beings are killed, and most of them also, thousands are maimed, and we have a lot of women and children caught in between the conflict, and that resulted to a lot of them leaving their houses, abandoning their farmlands, and going to the towns as IDPs. We have a lot of IDPs in Gusau right now in the state capital, and we have been, as CS also have been in the forefront in helping them to see that at least they manage their lives. We have the situation that we are looking for the international community, federal government and state government to step in to help these people, because first of all, they have to have a life to live. And issue of going back to their farmlands is another thing, because the conflict is still on. It rages on because they can't go and farm.
Okay.
They have dangers. We have a lot of kidnappings, you know. That's why I made sure that I give you a background so that I will step up. You will see that there is cattle rustling going on. The cattle of these herdsmen were being stolen by a group. That group is an offshoot of the herders, because they invited some other people to help them against the NSAK. And now those groups had been stealing, rustling cattle from the houses. From the farmers. Now they are even rustling from the same herds people, from the same Fulani. I would like to use this word. They are also rustling the cows of the Fulani. So they don't have means of livelihood now.
Or the elders in this case.
In so many places.
Okay.
At IDPs. Yes. And there are kidnappings for ransom. The cattle are now in short supply. Okay. Those groups, the armed groups, are now going after human beings. You know, taking human beings at various locations in the villages for ransom. Thousands, billions of naira are being paid to them, which very unfortunate. They also go for there is a border crossing that enable light arms to be transported and to be bought easily for this their nefarious act. They kidnap people, they request for ransom, and then they also increase their illegal activities through buying weapons and also doing drugs. So a lot of dynamics have entered, which if you are not careful, if you just say farmers hardest conflict, that way is so simple. It has metamorphosed to a lot of rural banditry, terrorism, and criminality, which are all interwoven, that the government needs to sort out so many of this, so that they can analyze the situation and give a candid and objective way out for this thing. Otherwise, it will consume the state and other states neighboring the Zamfara state.
Okay, thank you, Ambassador Ibrahim, for that. However, I want to thank God you also got to that point when you were discussing the role of government and how it affects all this. So I would like us to go into that. What effort has been made by the government so far in addressing this crisis, especially between the farmer and the herders? But aside that, even from those resulting effect or the proximate or triggering issues now we are having, I mean, the fruit of the initial conflict, which was between the two warring parties, but now it has gotten to the fact that we are now having banditry cases. Now, I would like you to go further in explaining the effort which has been made, or either active or passive. We would like to know.
Yeah, I think in any conflict situation, it's very important to identify the different stakeholders and their roles, and how positive the roles they are playing and the negative roles they are playing. A lot of stakeholders that need to put their acts together. We have the federal government, we have the state government, that means the security agents are all under this. And then we have the main actors, that is the farmers and the herders. And also we have the community leaders, and we, the civil society, together with the community-based organizations. We actually are looking at all these ones some of them are not playing their role effectively. You have seen how Zamfara state government under the past administration was into a peace deal that was actually not very well constructed and implemented, that has a lot of loopholes, that actually even raised the tempo, even raised the issue of insecurity, because during that time the bandits are even calling other bandits to Zamfara that there is a deal, others should come and settle in Zamfara forest because the government is not doing anything to them. That was the time we have about 200 camps of these bandits, thinking that they are living harmoniously because the government has asked the security agents not to attack them, and the NSAK were disbanded not to attack them, and anybody that even kill a Fulani or a herdsman is being punished by the government. So that was their moment of triumph, because they used that as a spring distance to make sure that they call other people from other states to establish camps in Zamfara and Katsina state. So that is a negative approach to this very issue. And the security agents, some of them you can hear from news, are found in collusion with this of these bandits. And also it's on the news that some traditional rulers that are supposed to play active role are also found neck deep in the issue of insecurity. Some of them helping the bandits, some of them actually acting as the bandits, some of them are getting the proceeds of banditry. So many things. So you can see that a lot of things has to be sorted out. A very critical and strategic approach must be
Ambassador,
done to see that,
thank you very much. I know we have so much to talk about in Zamfara, because I also know the how complex that particular conflict context can be, but I would just want us to, because of time, we only have like 2 minutes to go. I just want you to share 1 or 2 recommendations on how, if you have been in charge of any of these authorities who can make, you are also a major stakeholders. Can you just present to us some recommendations that can help us navigate our way through these complexities?
Thank you very much. I think it's not a one button or click solution. All stakeholders must be taken along. It's very important. And I hope this government has shown the goodwill to go with all stakeholders so that they find out way out. And also to make sure that they develop their capacity to manage conflict, because politicians sometimes are not good managers of conflict. They allow things and they politicize things. They should remove politicization. They should use also the community and CSOs to help them, because most of the assistance, humanitarian assistance that is needed is coming from donors and NGOs. And some of these are diverted. And some of these plans, NGOs are not included so that they can give an objective view and way to solve this problem.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Yes. So thank you so much for this time. I know we have so much to discuss, but because of time, and I believe that we will also still invite you to continue or to talk more on these solutions. Thank you so much for being on this show with us. I want to say special thanks to you for finding it out time despite your tight schedule to join me on this show. Thank you, Ambassador. And I want to say thanks to everybody who has been seeing this from home and learning 1 or 2 things on what is going on in Northern Nigeria. I want to say thank you for giving your time to be with us on this show. And we want to say special thanks to KAFTAN TV management team, Abuja, the management team of PepNet, and Peace Zone crew generally. We want to say thank you. And to all peace builders doing amazing work, we want to say Please keep doing what you're doing, and do well to also support this show or this program as is displaying on the screen. You can contact any of those lines and also reach out via email to support this program. Join us again next time on another interesting episode of P-Zone on KAFTAN TV. Ensure you stay safe, stay peaceful, stay developed, and I'm sure that together we are going to make a peaceful world. Thank you very much for joining me. Bye for now.